Today's episode, we're going to be diving into QFin Holdings, a fintech company out of China, and they're one of the best undervalued stock companies that I've come across in a while. If we take a look at their performance over the past month, they're up 4.5% year to date. They're down 19.46%. A year, they're down 7.51%. In 5 years, they're up 150%. A very fast-moving company. Recently, though, they haven't really been performing as great as I would want them to be, but from what I'll show you in this video, there's a lot more room to grow. A lot of these undervalued stocks don't always have the best financial statements, but QFin actually has a pretty strong financial statement. If we take a look at their income statement, they were kind of up and down. It was swaying, but from 2024 to trailing 12 months, they're not lagging, and they're sitting at 2.6 billion. Now their net income kind of was swinging up and down. We saw a decrease in 2022, but from there they've been able to increase it, and their trailing 12 months is sitting at 1.01 billion. In terms of their balance sheet, they look pretty healthy, and they've actually been able to decrease their total liabilities from 2023 to 2024 by 2.52%. Net debt is very, very strong, and they actually have negative 1.17 billion net debt. Now, cash flow is super important. Now, their free cash flow is something I always check for a company. I value them primarily on the discounted cash flow statement as well as valuation ratios, but the DCF is the one that really drives the final decision. And their free cash flow looks pretty healthy. They actually had a decrease in free cash flow in 2022, but we saw that in their income statement that wasn't the best year for them. Since then, in 2023 and 2024, they've been able to increase it, and in 2024, they were sitting at 1.28 billion. Now, QFin is based out of China, so there's some political uncertainty that could affect the stock price. There's persistent regulatory uncertainty in China regarding the fintech industry, and most notably limiting the interest rate on consumer loans. Regulations have eased somewhat in 2023, but the risk of further government actions always looms over the company and the fintech industry, which could potentially hurt the profitability, thus hurting the stock price in the long run. Right now, everything seems to be somewhat safe, but definitely enter this trade with some caution. In terms of their valuation ratios, price to earnings looks really good, 4.36, super low. Their PEG is at 0.27, also really low. Price to sales and price to book, somewhat average, 1.53 and 1.21, all super strong. Shows that the company is super undervalued. Earnings per share trailing 12 months is 7.04. Earnings next year is at 8.01. So they're set to increase their earnings, or they're estimated to, which you want to see in a company because ultimately that is one of the driving factors of an increase in stock price. Insider ownership is sitting at 8.02%. I'd like to see that number a little bit higher, but their growth estimates, as I'll later show, and as I've shown with their earnings per shares, is super strong, so I'm not too worried about that. Institutional ownership is pretty high. I don't like to see it too high, just because if a lot of institutions own the stock, then that could cause severe drops and changes in the short term. Their future growth really stands out. Revenue growth forward is at 8.83%, and the sector median is at 6.96%, so they're expected to outbeat the sector median in terms of revenue growth. Future profitability growth looks super strong. Gross profit margin trailing 12 months is at 65.97%. Sector median is at 59.63%, so they've outbeat the sector by 10.64%. Their growth and profitability in the future and currently is outbeating the sectors. Now, for the most important part of the valuation process is the discounted cash flow statement. We can see here that QFin's stock price is at 29.51 and their fair price is at 101.65. So if they're over their fair price, then they're overvalued. If they're under their fair price, then they're undervalued. In terms of QFin, they're insanely undervalued. Stock price is $29.51 and their fair price is $101.65. Here we can see by using the discounted cash flow statement, weighted average cost of capital / the discount rate, and their long-term growth rate, we can see that they're estimating a 244.4% upside for QFin in the next 5 years. So really huge growth potential like I showed previously, and now I'm seeing probably one of the biggest valuation gaps that I've seen from a undervalued stock when looking at its fair price to stock price. So huge gain here for QFin. So over the past 6 months, QFin stock has actually been declining. This is due to weak Q3 2025 guidance, as well as some regulatory uncertainty like I explained regarding the Chinese government. Although there is a lot of positive, they have very strong fundamental growth like I showed, international expansion, and very undervalued. If we look at estimate reports, they're actually targeting a increase in the stock price for their 1 year price target at 48 $32.84. Right now, QFIN sits at $29.51, and they look pretty healthy. I indicated one important price target here at $32.69, where I'd like to see the stock regain and hit that price target and react off of it, which I expect it to do. We can also look at the bottom here, the support. If it does happen to continue to decrease even more, I'd like to see it bounce off of that. So if it doesn't bounce, if it does decrease and it does not bounce, I think this could be kind of a risky investment if you're investing in the short term. I'm a long-term investor. I have very, very high optimism that the stock price will reach that analyst price target in 1 year through the analysis that I did. What I'm waiting for is a increase in reacting off of that 32.68. If it does break it, I think that it is now in the bull market rise that we should see QFIN in 2025. This video is not investment advice. This is for educational purposes only. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please drop a comment, subscribe, and like, and thank you for watching.